Hey, where's my shoes? I'll wear shoes for the pod.
I think it's like one size fits all. I mean, they're probably too small. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Like a glove. So good.
Sweet.
Let's do it. Alrighty. Here we go. My name is Marty Fox from WHITEFOX. Now, here's the deal.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the podcast live from New York City, we have father, husband, CEO, star of $1 Million Listing, star of Owning Manhattan, educator, author, you name it, you've got it. Yeah. Ryan Serhant, welcome to With the Fox.
Oh, I thought you were introducing yourself with that, and I was like, man, this guy is awesome. Thanks for being here. Welcome to New York.
Fashionista.
Dude, my feet get hot, and I like run around all over the place, and those shoes, the Lure piano shoes that you have,
yeah, these are great,
are like wearing leather socks. Like, they look nice, but it's basically you're wearing a leather sock, which doesn't breathe, and so this is way better.
There you go. I don't mind them. They're free, aren't they?
They're free for you, yeah.
Fantastic.
There you go. Congrats.
Thank you. So it's been amazing watching the journey over the years, Netflix and obviously social media. But what I'd love to know, you have a confidence and an aura and a way to rally people. When you run your huddles, there is just a tone and a believability that you have that a lot of people struggle to find in life. What was your upbringing like? How did you find that type of magical energy? Just tell me a little bit about your childhood.
I was born in Houston, Texas, in the South, and I bounced around a lot and moved a lot. I had to make new friends every year up until I hit really ninth grade, which is freshman year of high school.
How many schools?
8.
7.
Yeah. So we
parents always together?
My parents separated when I was 4 days old.
Far out. I was 4 years old.
Yeah. And so then my mom remarried a couple years later, and then my name changed to Ryan Serhant, so that's where Serhant comes from.
From your mom's second husband?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I moved around a lot, and he's a disciplinarian. You know, he runs a strong household. It was definitely tough. Like, I had to do school reports every day at dinner, weekly reports, Sundays. We had chores, you know, and had to earn our own money from like the day, like from my earliest memories, literally from, you know, picking up sticks and leaves in the front yard if I wanted to do anything.
So then were you good at school or rebellious at school?
No, I wasn't rebellious at school. School was never really my thing. I've always had a hard time with determining productivity. You know, it's probably why I have like 2 friends. I have a really hard time justifying having a drink with somebody without understanding exactly where this is going to take me.
Well, particularly if you can be walking, you know, Zena to the park or having a date night or training.
Sure.
You know
yeah,
I mean?
now. But growing up, for sure, like my parents made me play every single sport, and I just knew. And maybe this is the wrong attitude, but it's like, I'm not going to be a professional rugby player. Like, so why even try?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not in the cards for me.
And because of the moving of schools, you're probably like, why am I going to invest so much time if I'm probably going to be moved again?
Yeah. I'm trying to teach my daughter not to think that way now, because I think it probably was not the best attitude to have, because I do strongly believe now, like, I'd rather regret the things I did than the things I never tried. So you should try everything to know, which, case in point, is how I got on stage the first time. So it's how I did theater the first time, was because it was the one sport at one school that like took all the weird kids, you know, and I was far more comfortable pretending to be other people than I was at pretending to be myself again.
Were you bullied at school? Or
oh yeah, for sure. And I was always
for what reason? Because of the new kid?
Yeah, I was a new kid. I was overweight most of my life. I had really bad skin for a long time, and you know, I was the theater kid, and I was super shy. You know, I'm still shy to this day. I just wear my superhero cape every day to play the role of Ryan Serhant.
When you see the lens, does your brain sort of go into a state of flow where you're quite happy behind the lens because you can essentially not be someone that you're not, but you can showcase who you are?
I think I try to focus as much of my time on controlling the things I can control and not letting the things I can't control bother me in any way, shape, or form. So like, if somebody doesn't like me, I have no control over it. If you've made that decision.
But also, what a great training ground. Like what I had at school, the bullies were thick and fast.
Yeah.
So if I don't get a listing or if I don't get the gig or whatever it might be, so be it. It's so much easier than what you go through at school without the skills that you have as an adult.
Oh, sure. And the theater training for me, so getting on stage, doing theater, coming to New York City to be an actor in 2006.
How old were you then?
I was 21. And so it really teaches you personal rejection. It teaches you to...
Well, because it's personal. If you don't get a role...
Yeah, it's about your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, your hair. My hair color, you know? It's about your attitude, your nose, your chemistry with somebody, your real estate. You can work your butt off. And if you didn't make money, it wasn't because of your nose.
Yeah.
Right? It was because of whatever. And it just didn't matter. So, you know, obviously I still get emotional like everyone does when you lose a deal. But like you move on. Like I think I just got fired off a building. I would point to my email that way. Just saw it. Like, here's what it is. It's fine. We'll get hired on 17 more.
Yeah.
Like,
and you start to think, well, do you know what? I'm actually such a hard worker. I've got my heart on my sleeve within this company. If you don't want to use Ryan Serhant, go sell for less with someone else.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to have the same passion and drive. It's impossible for them to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you come here in 2006 to be an actor.
Yeah.
How long did you give that a crack for?
2 years. I ran out of money.
Yeah.
So the decision for me in the summer of 2008 was get a survival job, right? Pay my bills, rent, whatever, just like survive and stay here, or go back to school, which I didn't want to do.
I hate school.
Yeah. Or move home. You know, like I wasn't going to be homeless. I could always move home. My parents were in Colorado at that time, which again, I knew if I moved back to Colorado, I never would have left. Like I just knew I would have found comfort. And I never would have left home.
So you started in 2008.
Yeah.
And I moved in with my wife in 2008 and got a job at Century 21 in 2008. And we're coming up to nearly 20 years in the game.
Nice.
Talk to me about that first year in real estate. Was it in Manhattan?
Yeah, in Manhattan. I was living in Koreatown on 31st Street. My first year, my goal was not to do real estate. My goal was to pay my rent.
It's no one's goal to be in real estate. That's
Today.
Today's changed.
Yeah, these terrible TV shows have like ruined the landscape.
I know. We just hired a girl, and her name's Melissa.
Okay.
And in her like schooling days, when she was 17, she said, "I want to work at WHITEFOX." And you think, how is that even possible?
Yeah, I mean, most of our agents here grew up with me, you know, and they followed the journey and they're a part of it. And so it's exciting. But yeah.
And we'll get to how you actually give those people time.
Sure.
You know, through running the agency, building a family, doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
These people that idolize you, that you're so thankful for them to coming into Serhant, but then you feel the guilt of not giving them enough of your time and energy.
For sure. Yeah, I do a much better job these days at setting expectations than I used to. I used to just say yes to everything and then just resent everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of like the status quo for, I think, for most people.
I can't wait to unpack that because that's a big one.
Yes.
So you don't want to be in real estate. You're in real estate and you're paying the bills.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to make $24,000. Like that was my goal because that was $2,000 a month for rent and food and the Metro card and
in rentals.
However I could make $24,000
You deserve for it.
That's all I cared about, right? I needed to make $2,000 a month. That was then I could survive. Anything above $2,000 a month was a bonus.
When did you break the back? When did you start making money?
It took me the second year.
And was that because you had clients or you just hustled?
No, pure hustle. I don't know.
Pure hustle.
I'm not from here. So I'm not from New York. No one knows me. I didn't go to these schools. I'm not religious. Like there was a website, I think it still exists, called Craigslist at the time, where you could just put on ads, right? And it would be like, 2-bedroom for rent, hot, fire emoji, no fee. And then you'd meet people on the corner and say, sorry, that one just rented, but I'll show you 3 over here. And hopefully they would take one. But I made $9,000 my first year. So I supplemented my income by hand modeling and doing other random jobs.
Show me the hands.
They're not as great today as they used to be.
They're still soft. They're built for contracts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't do a lot of manual labor anymore. And so I did that. In my second year, I think I made like $50,000. And then my third year, I really started to understand how to compound relationships. So I could turn 1 deal into 3 deals into 9 into 27, and so on.
And did you also learn how to leverage the information that you held and the timing and delivery of that information? I found that that's been the biggest thing for an agent to be successful in their early years, how to drip the information to the client accordingly so that the deal gets done.
Yeah, I wrote I can't remember which book it is. I think in my first book, I talk very specifically about selective communication, right? And it's when and how you are delivering the right information
And the medium.
Yeah. And so you're also working towards the deal. There are certain phone calls that are important over the phone. There's other things over text, other things over DM, other over email, in person for certain stuff. And so how you do that and how you think about that. And every deal is an improv. And so for me, those early days, the light bulb for me was realizing, oh, sales is really just a game of improv. I meet a new stranger and I'm given a new set of circumstances. So that's a game. I say yes and to everything, right? I say yes and you want a 3-bedroom. Yes and you have a dog. Yes and your mother is the guarantor on the lease. Yes and you need a wall for your sister. Like yes and, yes and, yes and. And then how do I beat the internet is through memorization, which I had to do as an actor for 20 years.
Hey.
And so I would just, for me,
Because then you look like an expert.
right. So I looked at like the best agents in the business who were here. I was down here at the bottom of the barrel and was like, what really is different outside of network and connections and lead flow? What's the difference between them in the room and me in the room? They get to talk about the product without saying, like, or but. They never say, right? They just know it. The same way you know product when you talk about it now. I didn't know it. So I could either wait 10 years to learn through experience, or what I learned from bouncing around schools and making new friends every year was, let me fast track that and I'll just memorize all the information. So if they want something on the west side of Manhattan, I would legitimately memorize the addresses and the buildings and how many apartments and who the architects were and who lived in them and know who worked at the coffee shops. And that way, when I got a client, the feeling was that I'd been doing it for 20 years, even though I started yesterday.
Well, I feel like you visualized that you actually sold them. You visualized that you worked in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And when you go to those listings or meet those people, you had genuinely believed that you had done it. So you were so believable in your pitch. It's like visualization, but done in micro moments.
Sure.
Because a lot of people visualize what they want in 5 years, but you've also got to visualize the deal coming together.
Yeah.
And how to communicate.
Yeah.
It's literally like you're acting back when you're at school, but in a professional setting where it's constantly changing. That's why you can't get bored of real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I used to do too for deals is I would write it down so I would know, okay, I have a buyer who wants to buy this house. The buyer's name is Bob. The seller's name is Matt. Okay. Bob wants to pay $1 million. Matt wants $2 million. At the end of the day, we're getting a deal done. There's no question that we're going to get a deal done. What do I think this place is actually worth? It's probably worth 1.7. My guy wants it for way less. He wants a little bit more. Now I'm going to write out like stage directions, the script of this deal movie. And then I can improvise. I can pivot. There might be different characters. There might be things, but I'm always working towards the end game. And the end game has to be rooted in 2 moments of fear. What is the buyer the most afraid of? Is it really not getting the house? Is it really paying too much? Is it really that the wife doesn't like what? Every buyer is different. So what's their biggest fear if the deal doesn't go through?
And it's not always money, is it?
No, most of the times it's intangible, right?
Yes.
And then for the seller, what's the biggest fear if the deal doesn't get done? Sometimes
Progression.
yeah, it depends. Every deal is totally different. And so I would write it out and then I would march my way towards the finish line of the race, right? The conclusion of the movie. And it helped me stay on track to always remind myself to take the client back to, why are we here again? What's the end game? Like oftentimes you get emotional buyers, right? Who are looking for months.
Are you representing the buyer or the seller more often?
50-50. The United States is 50-50.
And you're
Very different from how you guys.
So different. And you're representing both in the same deal a lot of the time.
Not all the time, sometimes. Enough. Like probably 20% of the time.
And how much can a jealous agent on the other side, which there'd be a lot around you, stuff those deals up from going through?
Rare. I mean, rarely. It's in a 2020, 2021 market where every house disappeared. Then sure, you've got agents on one side of the deal or not who have all the control. And that's why building agent relationships is the most important for me.
Yeah.
That's why I started Sell It in 2019. It's like, I want to be the broker's broker, because when push comes to shove, I want every broker to owe me one,
Love that.
and that's been super helpful.
So educating agents has been a game changer for your business.
Yes, of course. I think real estate
Lacks education.
brokerage, sure. But I also think the real estate agency business is the strongest agency business there is. Like we, in the United States anyway, this business does not function without every other real estate agent out there. The market is just so large. I couldn't absorb it by myself. The pie just keeps getting bigger, right? And so you have to represent as many people as you can, but you got to work with everybody too. Like a heart surgeon doesn't really need other heart surgeons to have a great career, right? They're not using another heart surgeon on every heart they're doing surgery on. Like, they're the surgeon, they're doing it. I need other agents out there to want to do business with us. And if you look at a lot of the crash outs, so brokers who build up big careers and then disappear overnight.
Why do they disappear?
Reputation. It's always the market.
They burnt their bridges to get to that point.
For sure. Absolutely. Right? They basically burnt all the bridges to get to the top of Mount Everest, and they had no way down, so they just jump. Like, that's typically what happens. Yeah. So I've worked really, that's the TV shows for me, everything, all the social, all that. Like, I want to be the agent's agent, right? The broker's broker. And then a lot of that then turned into what this place has become, because I was able to attract more agents than I was like personally deals, right? It's only so many deals I can personally do in a day or a week or a month or a year. But I could really attract organically great agents around the country and earn their business instead of having to buy their business or lose the business, right? We earn it. And
so for me, and I think you'll be going through this either now or you have been going through it for a number of years.
Yeah.
But I was writing the most amount of business in the company.
Yeah.
I had a lot of agents coming in.
Yep.
We only had 3 offices and I knew that we could expand.
Yep.
And I had to make that decision. Do I keep listing and selling and be a CEO and give these agents time and build out a C-suite? Or do I just focus on being a CEO and just grow the business? And I made that decision 3 years ago, where I just focused on the agents, no more listing and selling, and being present with my 3 kids and Charlotte. So for you, how do you do it all? And is there a moment in time where you do pull back? Because it is hard. As a CEO, you do the deals, your profit margins through the roof. So it's so hard to walk away from.
Yeah.
How are you going with that?
I still do both. I don't do all of it. I focus very much on a declining percentage of revenue. So, when we started the company, I was 100% of the revenue. Mm-hmm. And then pretty quickly, I got to like 50%. And then pretty quickly, I got to 10%. I'll personally do, I don't know, 400 million this year, I think, personally. And that'll be less than 2% of revenue.
Amazing. So I think if the CEO is less than 10%, happy to.
For sure. Yeah. But I think my deals are still they're still important to my community. Like I'm a much better broker than I am a CEO. Like, I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And
why is that?
Because
there's less improv.
There's less improv, but I also I dislike management. I hate having conversations about behavior. Like, I don't ever want to talk about KPIs and OKRs.
I handle those ones. Yeah. I hate them too.
Yeah. Like, so I try to hire people around me to do all of that type of stuff, but I'm much better at leading by example than anything. And then most of our agents who join us, they're coming from brokerages. And again, the United States is very different, but they're coming from brokerages that are run by bankers or insurance brokers or the 5th CEO who's just
all I was hearing is there's no emotion. There's no EQ.
There's no purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just
right.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think, my ability to talk to agents about deals, how we do them and how this one's getting done, and just they'll be in the press and to film those deals for Netflix and do all that, I think is beneficial because people feel like they're working for someone who's just like them.
How often are you running your huddle? Once a month?
We do one huge in-person huddle per year. We pick a different location every year, and it's like a couple day event. It's a lot of work. We then do 2 virtual huddles that are like watch parties. So we did one in Q1. We just did one last week. It was like our virtual watch party. So everyone kind of in the local markets, because we're in 10 states, so it's far, right? So in the local markets, they get together, they get to watch it, and there's takeaways, and we have individual speakers in all the different markets and stuff. And then I'll have like a premiere party for the show / holiday party. So there's kind of like 4 medical moments per year, but like one big major one. And then we have what we call Serhant Live. So typically every Thursday at 3:30 p.m., I lead a 30-minute live for all of our people all of our agents, all of our staff that either include...
And that's also including people that are subscribers to
Seller. Yeah. So that'll include... It rotates in threes. So 1 week it's a training for me where I just get really angry and yell at them. 1 week it's a panel of our agents. So typically newer agents.
Yes.
How are you selling? What's working for you? You have a lot of inventory. You have that kind of thing. I keep they're half an hour max.
Well, I just had a great chat with Avi downstairs.
Yeah,
Ravi.
Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah. And he just said, like, he had such a good mindset of coming to Serhant and what he's been able to unlock within his career.
Yeah.
Studios.
Yeah.
Game changer for him. So he could never list a developer's building until he came here.
Yeah, now he's going to be bringing to the market like the biggest new development of all time. So, great case study, actually. Good example with Ravi. I think then the third would be a special guest. So I do like a 20-minute micro pod because no one has time, right? So I'm able to actually get really cool, weird guests that like typically in a real estate brokerage world you wouldn't be able to get because I get them virtual and I tell them it's only 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. It's bad. Yeah, it's easier. And then, but I give a lot, like whatever you want from me, free help, anything, whatever it makes you happy, I'll do for you and return the favor.
So good. Now, how do you actually structure your timings? Because you're running the business, you're doing your stock, you got your family life, your training. What are the percentages roughly of where that energy goes? And how do you conserve that energy? Do you know when your next trip is? And how do you actually stay healthy?
I'm pretty calendared. I don't know how healthy I am.
Physically or mentally?
Both, man. I'm losing my mind.
Oh, tell me about it.
If I could go back in time, the things I would do differently.
What would you do differently?
I don't know. I don't know if I would do this. Like, I don't think the brain damage is worth the enterprise value for starting your own company. Like, if I really look back at it, man, like my life was great. Like
as a commission earner,
as a pure broker, team, responsibility to myself. Like now I'm in it. Like there's no going back.
You can't,
right? And so now we're going to build. It's going to be great.
But is there an exit?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I named it after myself. There's no Serhant 2. So like, what is the exit? Like, I don't know. But I think it is mentally, and physically taxing, and I would never recommend it for anybody. Like I talk to people all the time. Like I'm going to start my own company, and my number one advice is do not do it. Like don't do it.
But I think I know why you did it, and I think it's a similar reason as to why I did it. Because at the time, we're sick in the minds. Yes, but
mentally broke.
We're not well. Yeah, I think that it's because at the time where we were working, they wouldn't believe that technology was going to help us do what we wanted to do.
Yeah,
that the video and the social and the way in which we were connecting as brokers. I remember being like bullied for doing it the way that I was doing it, and I was like, guys, how can you not see that this is where it's going?
Yeah.
And they all catch up 5-6 years later. But if you start your own, it's very hard to have this type of scale as an individual broker.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that, I mean, if I would go back in time, I was losing business because of the place that I was at. And there was no benefit for me to go anywhere else. Like they were just going to use me. So my only option was just keep doing what I was doing or do my own thing. And I guess the reason I built it so big and the reason we're continuing to build bigger and bigger and bigger is because there's like that funky inflection point, right? Like when you're too small, doesn't matter how great you are, clients still might not want to work with you because you're just by yourself.
Correct.
You have a couple people, like it's hard to build up that brand value and credibility. So as almost like a force of protection, we expanded really, really, really quickly. And then took on all the...
But also to capitalize on the eyeballs of Netflix. If you don't capitalize and expand...
Well, that came later, yeah.
You'll lose a big opportunity.
I didn't know Netflix was going to happen when we started this. I was still on $1 Million Listing. I was doing $1 Million Listing, was filming in this building when we set up Serhant. The last season was me setting up Serhant, and I was like all ready for season 10. We did 9 years of it, right? So I was going to get ready for season 10. I was going to be a CEO. It was going to be fine. And then Bravo, so the network in the United States... reached out to me and said, so you're a CEO now. I'm like, yeah, but I'm also a broker. I've got all this stuff. They're like, right. But the format of that show is 3 agents moving up and doing deals. The format is not 2 agents doing that and then one decides to be a CEO. It's not the same TV show. And so maybe this is the end. And then we just like ended it. It was so weird. And but at the same time, I was doing my renovation show. So I did a home renovation show at that same time. And so then at the minute I knew we weren't going to come back, I put together a presentation called House of Serhant. So studios filmed it. We use our agents here, the building here. We had like drone footage coming through. And I was like, I want to tell a first person narration story of what it's like to build from the bottom up, right? In a city that's told from the top down. So if you watch season 1 of Owning Manhattan, there's a lot of like this, and then it's countered with a lot of camera movement from the top down. Right? Instead of like there's a lot of shows that start from the bottom and they move up, right? They start with your feet, like physically, and then they show you. Or there's a lot of shows that like start at the top and just go down. Like, what does it look like for the people coming up and the people also on the way down? And I want there to be voiceover, and I want to look directly to camera. And
So
I want
you had a lot of creative control in Owning Manhattan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it was called House of Serhant for a long time. And then when they were putting all the marketing stuff together, we filmed the whole thing in 2023. So I pitched in 21. You started putting it together in 22. Took 6 days for it.
Did any of the original footage make it to what we saw on Netflix?
No, because I put it together with studios, but studios is a big part of it. I mean, they film a lot of it. And so...
because then a lot of it has to be reenacted and based on true events.
No, I wish. That would make my life so much easier.
Yeah,
Follow us.
You were.
So my hair was long for a year and a half.
Oh,
They're like, they're with you forever.
oh,
And then when they feel like they've gotten enough, then cameras go down. And it went down 2 weeks ago. We started season 2 of Owning Manhattan will come out sometime this year. We started filming basically January of 2024. We finished in May of 25.
and how many episodes would that be? 8.
Probably, yeah. Because all seasons on Netflix for the most part are 8. Because people don't have the attention span.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And an agent probably only can watch 4.
Yes. Right? Or they're watching while they're on their phone.
So, yeah, always.
Right.
An iPad underneath. So, you filmed.
Yeah.
When they've edited it,
Yeah.
which they're starting now,
Yeah.
will you be part of that process
Very
heavily?
so, yeah.
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 And how do you ensure that you get that with working with Netflix? It's in the deal.
Yeah.
So I think that's so important.
Yeah, Netflix has Final Cut, is what you'd say.
Hmm.
But it is my life, you know, and it's everything that is on camera happens because I've created it. So it's, there's definitely some disagreements in terms of story and process and what we're showing, what we're not showing. And I am a niche audience. I am not 300 million eyeballs and so I also lean on Netflix to know, like, okay, what does everyone in India want to see? If we want to be the number 1 reality TV show in India and the show comes out, what did they want to see, right? A lot of foreign countries want to see the deal making, and they want to see New York City as a character. So there's a lot of like big pictures of New York just to remind the audience. So when they're looking up from the phone, they're like, oh, right, I'm watching a New York show. Right. And
So what is your best engaged content? What do people love the most about Ryan Serhant?
I don't think it'll ever be anything other than Instagram. I think Instagram, because I grew up on it really, like in 2013, it's been 12 years of building brand value as a human. And that's where like the family stuff is, and fitness and motivation and all that. TikTok is TV, so TikTok is interests, and it's flipping through TV channels. Instagram is like flipping through the yearbook, right? That's kind of how I think about it. That's how we kind of create content. YouTube is a trickier one for us now because the TV show is probably the most important. And so YouTube always kind of goes back towards education and long form property tours, like things that are typically more than 10 minutes.
But over 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to YouTube as much as I used to. It used to be a massive driver of awareness for us. But there's just so much now. There is so much noise. We've been able to generate a lot more customers through TikTok and LinkedIn and Twitter.
So TikTok's driving.
It's a lot of drives. Oh, TikTok drives. I'm going to say, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but TikTok drives, sometimes it's the most next to LinkedIn. Yeah. Instagram is brand awareness, right? Same thing with Netflix, but Netflix drives so much business to everyone who's not on the show.
But does Netflix also, is that a big payday, or is that just more just profile?
Oh, it's profile. I mean, they pay. It's like, it makes it worth it because it's a lot of time. But it's really about brand profile, and then they don't take a percentage of your earnings, right? And so they give you a massive, massive podium to build from.
Yeah. They don't have any involvement with Serhant.
No.
So going back to that share of your time, where is most of your time going now?
I'd say 50% of my day is running the business, right? And that could be a big brand and expand day. It could be a big meeting day.
And who do you connect with? If you're separated from agents, when you say 50% is on the business, is that with your CMO, your ops? Who are those people?
Yeah, it's with my direct reports. So it's either with my president, my chief business officer, CFO, although I don't spend a whole lot of time with my finance team. Like, I know what they're doing and they're on top of it. We have weekly check-ins where we go through anything, and they also know if there's a problem to let me know. So a lot of it is on operations and growth. I spend a lot of time with the growth team. Like, I'm still very much in it.
Well, you said the pie's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And you've got how many locations in America now? 10 states.
6, yeah.
10 states. How many offices is that?
No. Because we allow our agents to open up their own offices.
Okay.
So and I should know.
But they're not franchised.
No.
You still own those.
Correct.
In a JV structure?
Something like that.
Yeah. So you'll sell down a percentage, give the back end. Mm-hmm. Do you still screen who they hire?
Yes.
Mm.
The company does.
Yes.
But we're also quick to hire, quick to fire, quick to promote.
Yes.
That's really, really, really important. But in brokerage too, they're just commissioned. So it's, you lead by reputation, but you're pretty strict to the numbers. And we churn out a lot of people. So, we move people on if it's not for them. Like, I think the real estate, especially in the United States, the real estate brokerage juggernauts, the biggest businesses of the last 20 years, were all about who can have the most listings and the most agents. I think going forward, it's going to be who has the greatest market share for the underlying platform to buy and sell real estate upon. Right? When people think, I want to buy and sell, almost forget the agent. Where are they going to? And that's why we spend it. Then I spend a lot of time on the tech side, just because it's newer to me.
And days on market. You want to have the least days on market.
Yeah.
If you put your property with Serhant, it's sold.
Yes.
That's what you want.
Yes. You heard it from him.
And in terms of expansion, where do you see Serhant in 5 years from now?
Australia.
Come to Oz.
It's far.
It's too far. You only gave it 3 days, though.
I know. I've been there before. I've been in Australia a couple times. Every time I go, I come back with like a suitcase full of bluey stuff. That's what happened last time. So much bluey.
So much
Bluey getting chased down in chicken.
We just had a bluey party.
Did you?
For my daughter's 3-year-old.
So you did?
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Loves it. Obsessed.
Yes.
Thank God she doesn't like Peppa Pig.
Yeah, we went through the Peppa Pig phase. That's for sure. Listen, we are, all open 4 more additional states this year. So right now, like my near-term focus is moving into the appropriate markets throughout the United States, and then hardening and building and hardening and building and hardening and building. We don't acquire everybody.
Where are those next 4?
Throughout the country. Like we have different targets. We're kind of determining that now for the second half of the year.
And do you ever do that first outreach message, or is that someone in the team?
So through Sell It, which I started in 2019, we have agents and brand advocates in every city. Like there are Sell It members who are active in the program in 133 countries right now. And I set it up that way in 2019, so I never had to acquire revenue. So I would always have people who are bought into us, ready to go in markets, who've been subscribing or going through coaching or doing anything else. So when we're ready, we can connect a whale, let's say, or a certain amount of volume. Like I don't like to go into markets with like less than $750 million in trailing 12-month sales volume. So whether that's one guy or 50 agents, let's say, and then I can supplement them with Sell It members who have been in the program with me for 5 years, and they know how I think. They know how I talk.
We've got a very similar outlook on expansion. Never acquire a brand.
Yeah.
Always start with, there's a metric. Yours is 750. Ours is similar. And it can be 3 people.
Sure.
And then you plug in the rest.
Yeah.
The rest can easily plug in.
Yeah.
They're there.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Well, you're never having to pay to open up.
Yeah.
That's the key. So it's a really nice entry into the marketplace without incurring debt.
Yeah. But you guys represent predominantly the sellers, and you do auctions.
I'm an auctioneer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So weird.
So why do you think it's weird?
I tried it. My first time I went to Australia was in 2016, and I never knew that that's how you sold in Australia. And everyone was so confused because most of what I talked to about agents all around the world is working with buyers, how to get them to make offers. You've got a listing that's been on the market for a year. How do you adjust price? How do you create urgency? And I go to Australia and they're like, No, we don't. That doesn't mean anything to us.
Somebody can just rock up, go to the milk bar, buy a meat pie next door to the house, and start bidding and buy.
Yeah.
And spend 4, 5, 6 million just on the spot.
It's insane.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
No registration.
Yeah, it's crazy. Totally insane. It's completely crazy.
I sent you a message and said, if you want me to call an auction for you on the street here, I'd do it whilst I was in town.
Yeah, through DM. Yeah.
You can actually do it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. But people in America, and I've asked a few people, they say, oh yeah, but it's not a foreclosure. And I'm thinking, okay, but the most expensive piece of art?
Always, dude. I'm with you.
I tried it.
I did it on a town. So I came back from Australia my first time in 2016. We had a townhouse that we couldn't sell that was asking 14, then 12. They wanted at least $10 million at 337 West 87th Street. It was 9 years ago. And so I was like, I have an idea. Because I have to be able to market it. And I can't market it with a reserve price. It doesn't exist here. I can't market it with no price. It doesn't. I wouldn't be able to. I couldn't put it on the internet.
So you can't say will be sold at 10 million plus.
No. So what I could do though is I could go out and I said we're 12, 1 week only, half off. So I reduced the price publicly to $6 million, which just makes no sense, right? It's too cheap.
But did everyone go nuts?
So what it did was what you guys do. I froze the marketplace because all the comparables are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, $20 million. All of a sudden everyone saw what we were doing. And I said, I could say final bids due by Friday at 5. And the marketplace froze. Everyone got incredibly angry and we sold it for $10 million. And then I tried to do it somewhere else. And here's the problem. And I was like, genius. I'm going to change the world.
Question though.
Yeah.
When you sold it,
yeah.
Were you standing at the front?
No. I don't know. No. Submit by email.
Oh.
Yeah, no, there's no auctioneer. No, because it's New York. Like the buyer was, I think, in Singapore when they made the final bid. It's like selling art, right? Like it's all.
So we're doing boardroom auctions, getting it up on the screen.
Yeah, no.
Some people are coming. Some people are zoomed in.
Yeah, they're calling.
And you're standing at the front going,
yeah.
And at 5,250,000, I'll take a 50, boing. And it's coming from a Zoom call.
Crazy.
That's
nuts. That's so weird to me. No, we don't. No, we don't do that. So we cut the price in half. But the problem is, I'm not dealing with like people that can't afford it in New York. And so I tried to do it on my next house. We had another house that was, I don't know, $11 million or something like that. And I said, we're going to do the same thing. I'll reduce it to 5.5 and we're going to sell it. What do you want? You want at least 10? I just did. Let's go do it again. The entire market said the house was worth 7.
Oh,
and so
no, it's hard to come back.
You can't come back from that. And so then every seller is like, why would I ever do that? I'd rather not sell or rather not list it. And now it's written in permanent ink on the internet that the cut price, that it went from 11 to 5.5 with Ryan to then they give it to another broker at 10 and they sold it for 9, but it took them a year.
So I can tell you the trick behind that one.
Yeah.
You can't put the price up.
And then I can't list it anywhere. There's no, our website, realestate.ag, doesn't exist here.
So they force you.
You have to. I'm forced to put up a price.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. You wouldn't be able to search for it.
Got you.
Right? So for realestate.au, you can search by what you can afford, right? And then you can see the bucket of homes in your affordability or within your desired price range, whether they sell for that range or not, right? Here, everything has to have a price. And I know you also have some regulations, like the reserve price can't be like 100% below the final price.
Correct.
Right? So we don't have that because no one does this process here. But you'll see on season 2 of Owning Manhattan, I tried it again. We had a 10,000 square foot apartment on the west side of the city here. It was listed at a big price. Same thing, again, like $12 million. And I told the seller I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm not going to call it an auction because the United States auction means bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to call it a flash sale, like a store. And we called it a flash sale. And the same thing happened. I don't want to give it away because it's in the show, but like...
You hate auctions.
I ended up getting the deal done, but it was a painful, like multi-pronged disaster of a process.
Can I tell you what's crazy? What you love about putting a deal together and how you step it out.
Yeah.
Like from the early days.
It's the time.
You can't do that in an auction. Yeah. You genuinely have to go, what will be, will be.
Yeah.
So you can't control the things that you actually
are
controlling.
Yeah, I know. Terrible. I don't know.
But see, that also lowers the IQ of a lot of agents in Australia.
Yeah.
Because they just take the photos, slap it on REA.
30 days, right?
For 30 days.
Yes.
At WHITEFOX, all internal auctioneers. So we've got like 15 auctioneers. But other brands, they call an auctioneer, they waltz in, call it, and they just hope that it sells. So a lot of the work's done by the auctioneer, because if they don't hit the price and they pass it into you, Ryan, you then come inside and they'll just do a mini negotiation very quick.
Nice.
So I think in Australia, it just gives an end date.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Which I appreciate. All we have is start dates, and the end date is somewhere in the magical universe, somewhere like off in the distance.
What is the days on market here?
172.
Shit. So we operate at around 26 days.
Yeah. So we could, I mean, when things are priced well, they move here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of options in the United States, like especially post-COVID. You know, we'll have a townhouse on the Upper East Side, gorgeous, limestone, amazing, $40 million. There's only so many people that can spend that. But that buyer is also looking, I want the city, but I could rent. So I'll also look in the Hamptons. I'm also thinking about Palm Beach, Florida. Also thinking about the Azores in Portugal. And they're comparing every market to see where they want to deploy that amount of capital.
I think it's also because they're driven by the property, not necessarily the location. The property's got to be right.
Yeah.
Isn't it like...
Yeah, because Manhattan is a tiny island. So, like, yeah, sometimes the location has to be right, though, because you either want that view of Central Park, or you want to be on the water, or you want to be in a building with a pool and amenities, or you want to be by your side. It depends.
Where's your favorite part of New York from a real estate perspective?
For real estate perspective?
Real estate.
I think every real estate broker would say the West Village. The West Village sells, and that's where we have an average. That's where our average is, 19 days.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is hit and miss. We have gorgeous homes that sell on the park in a day. We have homes that sit on the park for 10 years.
And when you say on the park, anything looking over Central Park,
it's gold. I would say south of 86th Street. Yeah. From Central Park West to 5th Avenue to Central Park South. Above that is you're uptown Manhattan. It's a little bit different.
How do the personalities differ between the west and the east of the park?
I mean, the west was historically art, right? And the east was historically like business, finance, right? The Rockefellers, right? JP Morgan. The west was, bands, John Lennon, everybody. And the south is foreigners, because most people who live in New York City do not want to live on Central Park South or on 59th Street for the most part, because it's tourists and buses and horses and blah, 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 that. And it's not really like a stroller neighborhood.
What about Soho, West Village here? Melting pot.
West Village is great for entrepreneurs. It's great for people in business. It's great for families. It's good schools. Soho is beautiful. It's awesome, but it's also not for everybody, because there's no school in Soho. So most families don't choose Soho unless you're going to go to private school, and then you have to commute to a different private school somewhere. So schools, there's no grocery stores in Soho.
Do you like being removed over the water?
Where I live?
Yeah. It's only 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's super fast.
Yeah.
I like having a little bit of a change of scenery.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an amazing catch up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on with the Fox, and
of course,
just being open and honest. And what a great story.
Call himself that at home. Like, you want to go to bed with the Fox? Do you say that?
But she's the Fox too. Maybe I say, can I come into the Fox?
You both say that to each other? Is that how it goes down?
Well, you'll never know.
Okay. Got it. Cool. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.